my name is Teresa and I'm also grandma. I was making raviolis with my mother when I was 14, 15 years old. Cappellettis I did not learn until I was married. And my sister-in-law Margie is the one that taught me how to make them. This video is done for my grandchildren are the ones that love it and would love to eat it all the time but doesn't know how to make it. It would take you at least 2 days to make maybe 400 or 500 cappellettis and maybe close to 200 ravioli. So you need at least 2 days to make everything. It takes a lot of time, patience, and when you do make them and you think all the work you went through, and in 10 minutes, they're all gone. The first batch of meat will be cooked with cappellettis. After we're done with the cappellettis, then we add spinach and make raviolis. So you're getting cappellettis and raviolis from the same meat, but one has spinach in it and one doesn't. Well, cappellettis we eat with chicken broth. Raviolis we eat with marinara sauce. It took close to an hour to cut it up and at least 2 hours to cook it. We had to cut up beef, pork, and chicken in sort of bite-sized pieces. So by the time you cut it all up and then cook it for about 2 hours, taste the meat. When it's done, then you could grind it. Cook all the meat and get it ready one day, and then the next day I'll make the dough. And I would say in about, maybe 45 minutes you can make 100 cappellettis. And usually when I make them, I make about 1,000, so it takes quite a few hours to get them done. Now I would pour all of the ground meat back into the big pot. It's all mixed. It's beef, pork, and chicken ground together. Now the tough part comes because I don't measure. What we're going to do is add some salt, a little bit of nutmeg. If it looks a little brown on top with the nutmeg, it might be enough. Give it a couple squirts of lemon juice. Now my mother used to grate the rind of a lemon in it. But I don't do that, I just add lemon juice to it. Approximately 3 eggs, all depends. Maybe you're not gonna make it this much, but you're better off making this much at one time because you could freeze everything. And then when you want them, just take them out of the freezer. And I don't grind my pepper, I just get McCormick's regular pepper and put it in. Lugatelli cheese, and the more you put in, the better it tastes. And now what I'm going to do is use my hand because it seems like it's dry, but it really isn't dry. So it's like you've got to squeeze it enough to form them. The meat won't look ground because when you're going to make your cappellettis, you only need like little pieces this big, so they have to stay together. And it's a little better when you're making the raviolis because you're going to put spinach in it, so it's more moist. A lot of times they'll have juice left over from the meat, but there wasn't any juice from here. And if it's a little bit dry, you could add that juice in it. And if you feel you need some more juice, just put in a little bit of chicken broth. And I don't know how much seasoning is in it, so if I could have a guinea pig to taste it and tell me what it tastes like, because I don't taste my food.
How come? Then how do you know it's good?
Because everybody else tells me it's good.
I just ate chocolate cake. I'll eat some.
I'll try it, but yeah, again, I've never had it just straight.
Well, you know what cappelletti meat tastes like? Then tell me if it tastes like a cappellettis. Macy, come here, honey. Oh, never mind. I forgot you don't eat meat anymore. What does it mean?
Come taste a couple of
Come taste the 3 or 5 meats that are in the
It's not me.
Let's get the vegetarian granddaughter to taste the meat.
It does. It tastes like a cappelletti without the dough.
She got it.
And I mean, now I just tasted, you could taste the salt in it, so I don't know, I could because I'm not really a salt eater.
But that's good.
And that's it. Tune in again tomorrow and you will learn to make the pasta. Today we are going to learn how to make dough. And I'm not making it, Kursima is. So when I'm not here, she could make it by herself. First crack 6 eggs in that bowl.
No shells.
No shells.
Yeah.
No.
Please.
Nothing crunchy.
Crack it. Oh.
That happens sometimes. Okay, add some salt.
Great.
Okay, that's good.
Okay.
Now you're going to need 4 1/4 cups of flour. Okay, you can put your flour in there. Okay, take your fork and make a hole in the middle of the flour. And you could add your eggs in there. Mixing it around. Okay, Charisma, you can start doing it with your hand. And just keep on doing it until you could get everything up. And if it's still sticky, we'll be doing it. Charisma is kneading the dough. We have to make it that it is not sticky because you won't be able to roll it. You would need more flour. Even though when we're going to roll them, we'll need flour. But it still has to be a little bit more firm. And if it's coming off your hands, it should feel... Because then what we're going to do is when we're rolling it, like you'll just get a piece, we'll put it on flour. Really, when you're making it, it is a tough process when you're doing it by yourself. Because by the time you make all the meat, then make all the dough, and then have to make all the couple of these raviolis, it takes a couple days. Years ago, with Skinny Grandma, she came to show me how to make homemade bread. And she was kneading it and punching it down, and I told her, I said, Grandma, how could you tell when it's done? And she told me, when it's raining. I said, but it's beautiful out, the sun is shining. So when it starts raining from here, it's done. Is that better now?
Yeah, it feels better now.
Okay. So what we're going to do with this one, but what we need is oil. They said so it doesn't really dry up. So put oil on it and either wrap it in plastic or put it in a plastic bag. Here you are. Don't stop. Crack 6 more eggs. We're not finished.
When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's amore. When the world seems to shine like you've had too much wine, that's amore. Bells will ring, ting-a-ling-a-ling, ting-a-ling-a-ling, and you'll sing Vita Bella. Hearts will play tippy-tippy-tay, tippy-tippy-tay, like a gay tarantella.
This is how your hands feel when you're done.
When
I floured a piece of dough, and now I'm going to roll it. Put it on the first one first. Run it through. And then you'll put it probably third level. And put it through. Just make sure you flour it so it doesn't get sticky and stuck in the machine. And this is probably about on the 6th one. Same piece. Just keep on rolling the 6th. Yeah, usually you should end up being on the 3rd last hole because you've got to stretch it, okay? And what we're going to do is cut the piece of dough in half. And I'm cutting little squares. Okay, so you have all your little squares. Now you'll get some meat and squeeze the meat until it forms sort of like a little ball. Pinch off a little piece. Put it in the center of the dough. Okay, we're going to need a cookie sheet. Put a little bit of flour on it. Okay, what you're going to do is you're going to go from back corner to corner. Press your sides down. So it's going to look like this. And then you get this end and that end and you put them together and turn it. And when you make them, they'll look like this.
Sticking, Grandma, at all.
Well, mine is sticking. They're called little hats too. Some people call them little hats. And sometimes they get holes in them, so you gotta patch it up a bit. So my thing is, when I make them, they're pretty good. If somebody else makes them and you see they fall apart, it's because somebody else made them, not me. Now we're going to make meat raviolis. If the other workers would get in here. I'm waiting for little Carissa to come so she could see what we're doing.
I'm coming. I'm just getting to the third.
So, hang on. No, take one, take two. Okay. And the main reason you've got to put it on the same one all the time because when you're boiling them, they should all be the same thickness. If not, one's going to get done and one isn't. Lay it down this way. And it's going to be in half.
Okay.
So you're going to start your meat here. Okay?
Okay.
And then it all depends how white it is. I don't know, sometimes I could get 3 on it, sometimes I only do 2 because I don't like the meat to go on the side of the dough.
Okay.
Because then they're tougher to close. When Barbie was young, and she would help me, and I'd have her roll. And I go, you know, if you roll this, you're going to get big boobs. So she would roll with this hand, and then she would roll with this hand. She said, it took me quite a while to realize I'm not going to get big boobs rolling this.
When you dance down the street with a cloud at your feet, you're in love. When you walk in a dream, but you know you're not dreaming, signore. Scusa me, but you see, back in old Napoli, that's amore.
When dawn moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's amore.
That's amore.
When the world seems to shine like you've had too much wine, that's amore.
That's amore.
Bells will ring,
Ding-a-ling-a-ling,
ting-a-ling-a-ling,
and you'll sing Vita Bella.
Vita Bella, hearts will play,
Tippy-tippy-tay,
like a gay tarantella.
That's it. Just keep on making it until all the meat and dough is gone. Until you're finished. Might have to make more dough, but basically that's it. We are done making them. Now when you want your cappellettis, make sure you boil it or cook them in chicken broth. When you're doing your raviolis, you use spaghetti sauce. And don't forget the grated cheese because that's what makes it taste good. Make sure you use the CD so you know how to make them because Grandma's not going to be around here forever and somebody better learn how if you want to eat them. You don't have to wait until I'm dead to make them. Make them someday and invite me over to eat them at your house so I could see what they taste like.
Yeah. We're done. We did it. We learned what we need to do.
And when I have to make them for Christmas, they could all come to my house and help me.
There you go.
All right, awesome. What do you guys have to say to Teresa? I mean, she took
Thank you, Teresa. And we didn't appreciate it enough.
No.
All the years you made these for us, we did not appreciate it enough. See?
A lot of effort.
But we will from now on. When she drags out that bag of Cappellettis when we're down in Florida that she saved for us, we'll all be like, oh, these are so great. Jacqueline and Scott can't wait to join in the tradition, and Jillian and Christopher and Chase just came by. They're on the eating side. And Helena came, and Sarah and Bella, Carter,
Minnie?
Minnie and Teresa, which did it in their own time, but they're past. They just got a bag to go. But for everybody's help and all the times that our family made this tradition possible for us, we are thankful.
That's a wrap. That's a wrap.